Hi, my name is Sonja Stanton, and I'm a student at Liberty University, and this is my Interpersonal Communication Project. Introduction. According to Stewart, communication is the continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning-making, whereas interpersonal communication is the kind or quality of contact that happens when people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. And a good listener is mindful of the wide spectrum of listening skills that include accurate receiving, retaining information, sustaining attention, attending to your own speech, and encouraging the person that you're listening to. Next slide. God's guidance. In everything, no matter what we do or what we're learning, God has guidance for us. Attached are a few verses that discuss aspects of the listening. Next slide. Overarching goal. My personal overarching goals are to become a better listener, to become a better overall communicator. My ideal goal is level 1 listening. Burley and Allen suggest completely listening to the speaker by putting yourself in their place rather than judging, and listen from the heart, which will allow understanding, caring, and empathy. Stewart states, our work, our relationships, and our very lives succeed or fail one conversation at a time. Article by Burgoon, Berger, and Waldron states many social problems can be traced to interpersonal communication difficulties, just as many proposed interventions to solve social ills also depend on effective interpersonal communication. Next slide. My personal communication. According to the Uniquely You Self-Assessment, what is expected of me is an SI personality. S standing for oriented, being steady, stable, shy, security-oriented, servant, submissive, and specialist. I being active, people-oriented. These are inspiring, influencing, inducing, impressing, interactive, and interested in people. Now, this is me. My actual personality type is a CIS. I maintain the SI personality-oriented, passive and active, and I combined a little C, passive, task-oriented. These characteristics are cautious, competent, calculating, compliant, careful, and contemplative. Next slide. According to my interpersonal communication skills test, some of my strengths are: I'm a good communicator. I have good communication skills, very insightful, assertive when talking to others, and have excellent listening skills. Some of my potential strengths are I'm relatively capable of communicating clearly to others. I'm relatively comfortable dealing with emotion. According to this test, no limitations were detected. Next slide. Enlarging the communication. According to Carbonell, by developing skills that enhance how we communicate, we are essentially enlarging our communication. Some examples of communication enhancement skills are mindful listening and comprehension, deepening dialogue, disclosure, and building trust. Next slide. My behavioral blend and background. I am the stereotypical Southern girl. I grew up with 3 brothers, and I took on the role as protector, peacemaker, and friend to everyone. I maintained that role, being shy and very self-conscious. I always wanted to make people happy. Being from a divorced and low-income home, I was taught to keep control of my feelings and to work hard for everything. I always wanted to be the best and to make everyone proud. I joined the Army as a military police officer and learned even more skills in self-control and controlling my emotions while saving the world. After marrying a soldier and becoming a mother of 2 boys, I maintained that self-image and toughness while working hard to keep everyone happy. Some of the resulting influences, both positive and negative, from my behavioral blend and background include positive, being people-oriented, successful, strong communicator, many high goals, and and assertive. Some of the negative influences are I'm very guarded, self-conscious, not very decisive, lack discipline and direction, I'm opinionated and demanding. Next slide. Potential barriers and possible solutions. Self-conscious listening. I have too many personal thoughts rather than selfless attention, and I need to remember that it isn't about me. I need to focus on the talker. Biased listening. There's a pre-label on the conversation based on the expectation that we have of the speaker. To solve this, I need to remember not to judge and to listen with my heart. I also have a desire to rescue, wanting to help everyone. I need to remember that it's not my problem. My purpose is to allow them to. Another barrier would be the flat brain syndrome. I need to remember to consider the speaker's feelings and think before I speak. Next slide. Internal noise pollutions and possible solutions. According to Burley Allen, noise pollution is factors that distract us from effectively listening at level 1. These distractions can be or external. Some internal is being a yes person. To stop this, or a solution, is to stop trying to always please people. Know my limitations and boundaries and express them. Emotional listening. Don't allow past feelings to play a part in the current situation. And fatigue. Recognize when I can't focus. I need to be patient and listen carefully, or politely ask to continue the conversation at another time. Next slide. External. Some external noise pollution would be outside scenery or activity. To solve this, I can invite the speaker to go somewhere with fewer distractions. Another one is doing multiple things at one time. I need to focus my attention on one thing at a time. Prioritize. Another external noise pollution would be speaker volume being too loud or too fast. With express the difficulty ending and ask for repeats. Next slide. My plan of action to reach my overarching goal. I need to practice to effectively listen by allowing the other person to finish speaking before I respond. I need to ensure that I understand by paraphrasing and questioning, and pay attention to this non-verbal communication. I also need to always remember that what the speaker is saying is important to them, and I also need to always listen empathetically and with my heart. In conclusion, Stewart says there's a direct link between the quality of your communication and the quality of your life. In a professional growth article, it was perfectly explained. Good listeners are made, not born. They're made by their willingness to observe the volumes that are spoken between the lines in ordinary conversation. Good listeners, for instance, hear a clenched fist or a softened voice, or the look in the eye as much as they hear the words. A good listener is patient and non-judgmental, giving other people room to express their ideas without being corrected or resisted. A good listener isn't satisfied with partial data and will always ask rather than presuming that they know what someone else means. This concludes my interpersonal communication project. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.